This time we're looking at the Vulcan Suurok-class ship. This one was the OP-1 prize ship for the Borg Collective. And we'll get right in and take a look. There we have our Suurok-class dial. Pretty much the same as the existing Suurok we already have. And there's our Suurok-class. You can see our movement chart there, pretty much same as the previous Suurok. Lacking the one tight turns, but has pretty much everything else. There's our name Tamir, unique Vulcan faction. 2 attack, 1 agility, 4 hull, 3 shield. 2 tech slots and a crew slot for 20 points. We have evasive, target lock, scan, and battle station. Pretty standard there. And whenever you initiate an attack, you may disable one of your non-disabled tech upgrades to gain +1 attack die. As its uses, always nice to have extra attack dice. This is more of a support ship, so not sure how often you're going to be using that. You're probably going to be more using the tech upgrades for their uses than disabling them to fire an extra die from your main weapon. And we have our generic Suurok class. 2 attack, 1 agility, 4 hull, 2 shield. Pretty respectable defensive ship there. You lose 1 shield over the named, and you lose the 1 tech slot for 18 points. For captains, we have Vanik. Captain skill of 5, 1 elite talent for 3 points. And all of your Vulcan and Federation tech upgrades cost 2 less squadron points. Now we've come around here, a lot of people play faction pure. When a card like this specifically mentions Federation faction, if he's the captain of your ship, you can use his ability and take Federation upgrades even if you're playing faction pure. That's just something we do around here to make captains like him not become worthless in that type of environment. But in a normal game where you could take any equipment from any faction, definitely his ability has merits. Still good even in the limitations that we put on it locally. Then we have our generic Vulcan captain. For our elite talent in this one, we have diplomacy. 5 points. As an action, you can discard this card to target an enemy ship within range 1 to 3. Discard all tokens from beside your ship and the target ship, except for auxiliary power tokens. Both your ship and the target ship can't attack or be attacked this round. And you get 2 reminder tokens, cannot attack or be attacked for diplomacy. 1 for your ship and 1 for the target. Definitely an interesting card. Like I said, this is more of a support ship, so you're going to see this kind of stuff in use just to protect other ships in your fleet, mostly. It basically makes it so the target ship that you use it on can't attack, which means it can't attack any other ship in your fleet either this round. And with this ship only having an attack of 2, you probably weren't going to shoot anyway. So it doesn't really hurt you, but it could cripple an enemy, especially if they're running like a single ship dreadnought type build. For our crew upgrades for this pack, we have Koss. He's unique. 2 points. While Koss is on your ship, none of your other upgrades can be affected by your opponents. He's your protection from things like assimilation tubules, Jemadar soldiers, anything that can disable, discard, or steal upgrades on your ship. He's going to be protecting them as long as he's there. Granted, they're just going to take him first, but it'll buy you an extra turn in most situations. Tech upgrades is where this ship's going to shine, being a support ship. First one we have here is the tractor beam. 2 points. If you're attacked at range 1, you may disable this card to force the attacking ship to reroll up to 2 attack dice of your choice. Not quite as cool as the Borg tractor beams, but definitely has its uses. The fact that it's a disable and it's reusable definitely helps it out. And with things like the commander who make the upgrades cost cheaper, also helps. This one we saw on the previous Suurok vessel. It's unique, unfortunately, so you can't use both, but I swear the other one wasn't. Definitely an interesting upgrade. Combat vessel variant. It's 6 points, it's kind of steep. But what it does for you is convert your ship into less of a support class ship and more into a frontline assault ship. Your primary weapon and hull values each increase by 1. In addition, during the activation phase, if you reveal a 4 forward, you can perform a 5 forward instead. If you do so, it causes you auxiliary power. It can only be purchased for a Suurok-class ship. But definitely another option to give this ship a little bit more teeth, and not that it needed it, a little bit more hull to make it more durable. Being that this ship was an OP prize, it doesn't come with a scenario. But we do have our normal tokens supply with us. We have our critical and auxiliary up there at the top. I have 3 shield tokens, a disable, our scan, battle stations, and evasive maneuvers. There's 2 reminder tokens there for diplomacy. We have target lock 00 this time. And this objective marker, which actually doesn't go with anything in the pack, it's just there for flavor. You get this objective token that pretty much is just there because of the flavor and backstory for the ship. And it's a ice comet. If you're not familiar with this ship, it came from a episode of Enterprise where they were trying to drill core samples on a comet, and their shuttlecraft fell through the ice down into a crevice and their crew were trapped, and the Vulcan ship eventually showed up and pulled it free with its tractor beam. Kind of thematic with the pack, that's why you have the tractor beam upgrades, the same captain who appeared in that episode. It's kind of neat, they must have had extra room on the cards for the punch outs and just decided to throw that in there as a little bit of fluff. Ship itself is the same Suurok-class we got before. Doesn't seem to have as much of a blue glow on the inside of the warp ring there. As with any of the other ships, could you definitely use some more paint. At least, like I said in the previous videos, that they're red now instead of the orange that the ones in the HeroClix game were. There we have our base for the Tamir. Really like that 180 degree fire arc. Kind of wasted a little bit on this ship since it doesn't have a secondary weapon upgrade and your main weapon is only a 2. But you can up that with the combat vessel variant. Here we have our generic Suurok-class. Overall, it's another nice addition to the Vulcans. Brings them up to 3 ships now. They have the makings of a decent fleet. Don't think they're at a competitive level yet, but definitely fun for casual play. You have some interesting combos in here. The combat vessel variant, I really wish it was limited to 1 per ship and not unique. That way you could run multiple Suurok classes as combat vessels. I'm not sure why they went that route with it, but it could easily be done the other way. Captain Vanik allows you to take cross-faction stuff from the Federation at a discount cost. Always a nice addition to have. And definitely Koss is probably the shining star of this pack on the ability to protect one of your crewmen or your upgrades for a turn. All in all, it's a decent little ship. Wish it had some more maneuverability, being that it's not really a main combat vessel. That one tight turn would be nice to see on these, but definitely could live with it the way it is. It's very playable in a casual environment. And definitely a must-have if you're a Vulcan player. A possible if you're just a Federation player in general. And if you're like me, a collector and have to have everything, of course you have to get it. But definitely, it's not a super ship, but this is what a prize pack should be. It's a lot of fluff, a lot of fun things that are nice to have, but not needed in order to succeed in the game past this point. Anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.